Hello. Good morning, all of you, all around the world.
How are you? How are you doing today? Thank you so much for channeling this beautiful program. The name of this program is Angelic World, and this is Tom.
She is Laura.
And we're here to talk about many things. Hope you are enjoying our programs, and also maybe you can share the programs with us or maybe give us a like. Thank you so much for being there. We are here. We are transmitting in Mexico City, and we are so happy to be here. Of course, every Monday we are here at 1 p.m. Mexico's time. And today is a little bit warm. I mean, cold. That's why Tom is wearing a sweater. I am wearing a sweater too. And normally in this studio is very warm, very hot.
It is probably because there was kind of rain yesterday, and today we are on the vapor wetness of the issue.
This morning was also raining in the very, very early in the morning. It was raining, so everything and every let's say like every aspect of the tree or the street, the trees, the plants, everything is wet, is green, is beautiful. I like this kind of weather, but sometimes, it's kind of cold. So, thank you again. And thank you to our producer, Danny, who is helping us with our program. And we are here in Mundo Holístico. This platform is giving us the chance and the opportunity to share a lot of things with you. So today, Tom, what is the topic?
Today, the topic is spiritual responsibility.
Yes, there is a responsibility, right? When we are talking about spirituality. But what is spirituality? What does that mean?
Spirituality is knowing that inner self of your best part of you in order to be the best version available of yourself to the world.
Exactly. Also, spirituality means when somebody is spiritual means that that person is connecting with life, connecting with life within himself or herself, and also all around.
That's correct. A believer of a higher consciousness.
Exactly.
That is what is to be a responsibility in the spiritual world.
Yes, and sometimes people do not like to get into the matter of not being spiritual, or sometimes they think that it's kind of hard to be spiritual because they relate that to a religion. And we're not going to talk about religions really. In this case, spirituality means to be open and to be connecting with the higher realms and with the highest energies. So that's why we, Tom and I, always talk about connecting with life, connecting with energy, with for example, in this case, the 7 archangels that we always talk about them, about their virtues, is that we can connect our inner self with these energies that are up above, let's say, or that are very in a high frequency, in a high vibration. So that is to be spiritual, to be able to connect with energies, with light, with the divinity. And that's something that we need. Why? Because we also are energy. So we need to have this kind of connection with these highest realms. And as I was telling you, sometimes people do not like or do not want to connect. Why? Because they are they have like a fear of forget about themselves. Sometimes I have heard that people say, no, I don't want to connect, or I don't want to be so into the spiritual area because I feel that my ego or myself is going to be lost in something that I don't know. So it's something that is confusing sometimes for a lot of people.
Nevertheless, whether you are a believer or non-believer, an atheist or scientific mind or rationalist, it doesn't matter. The issue here is that there are forces in nature that bind us, that we do not sometimes understand. And this is what we mean by energy. There are energies surrounding all of us all the times, and they affect our living, our way of thinking, our way of interacting with life. And this is what we need to understand as a spirituality in order to connect with these special forces. We do not see them, but they affect us, they interact, and it doesn't matter if we believe or not. They are there, they are existent, and we cannot deny it.
Yes, and what we do then while doing that is helping our consciousness to connect with the consciousness that is universal consciousness. So basically that is when we work, let's say, in the spiritual areas, and we as human beings, we have to be responsible of that kind of connection. We really have to understand that we are not alone in this planet, that we are not only this body, this physical body, but that we are something else, something extra, something marvelous, something higher, bigger, which is our energy, our inner self, which is also our soul. So we need to like make it's not really make a contract, but it's like make a compromise so that we can learn how to take care of this inner body or inner self, let's say. No?
Let's take for a simple example, the moon. Every 28 days, we have a full moon. And so the forces of gravity, of the attraction of the moon towards the gravity of the earth changes. And this affects our electromagnetic field in every aspect of our lives. Sometimes we feel anxious, we feel in anger, in anxiety, in fear, or sometimes we explode, or sometimes we have uncommon reactions that we cannot ourselves explain. How we did something, how we made something, how we decided stubbornly or quickly, or when you interact with nature in a impulsive way. So these forces are all the time around us, and we need to establish a new language in our mind, with our body, towards nature. This is what we need to call spirituality in order to thrive and to evolve to a better self-being, or a higher self, or a best version of ourselves. We take along, Laura and me, and as a message to all of you, we take along the company of the angels and archangels in order to have reference to their virtues, and how we can interact and work with these virtues within ourselves in order to evolve and be a better person.
Yes, if we, for example, are responsible of this spirituality, of this connection, of this responsibility, then our vibration is going also to start interacting with the fields that are outside. We can change, let's say, the vibrational fields, and it's going to be better. The connection with the outside world is going to be better. Why? Because we are working within ourselves. So if we work in ourselves and with this connection, with this spirituality, then the rest, the outside world is going to be, the outside world is going to have a benefit, let's say, of this connection, of this work that we're going to do. Is it something simple? No, it's not simple. It is very hard. It is very hard, but well, that's why we have a lifetime for us to continue and evolve into a better human being. If we are a better human being, or if we look for that, then that kind of energy, that kind of light that we're going to be putting inside ourselves and also outside is going to be very helpful for us, I'm sorry, and also it's going to be helpful for the rest of the outside world, let's say.
You can take yourself as a sign of wisdom and maturity when you come into terms with the realization that whatever your decisions cause you, rewards and consequences. So this is a key milestone in order to have a physical mindset and a mental, emotional emotional mindset and set of tools that you can provide to your life every day in order to be the best version of yourself, confronting any situation that you may have in front of you or face it.
Yes, if we have this contact, let's say, if we want or we are longing to have this kind of connection with the divinity, which is also the best connection that we can look for, then we're going to be able to like start putting into function this responsibility that we are talking about. Why? Because we're going to start connecting to the source of this creation, which is love. And love, well, love is God. Let's say is the divinity, is the light, the bright light, and that kind of emotion, which is love, is going to help us to continue to be able to shine within ourselves. We cannot see that, of course, because we cannot see that with these eyes, with the physical eyes. But if we could see, for example, or use another kind of vision, which is our inner vision, then we would be able to see this kind of light when we are having this contact with God, for example, or with love. So we can be ourselves, if we continue with this, let's say, with this responsibility and working with it, then our own guide is going to start helping us. We can start using our inner guide, our inner divinity. Let's say we are going to be able to channel this kind of light, this kind of energy, and we're going to feel better. We're going to feel secure. We're going to feel that we are not alone in this planet, but that we have this beautiful connection with the divinity, and that although this body or this physical body will finish its time, it doesn't matter. Why? Because we are more than that. We are this light, we are this energy, and we are having this connection while we have this opportunity in this lifetime to work with this connection, with this divinity.
Another of the key issues regarding to spiritual responsibility is to think that we sometimes finish already our education, but that is not so true, because as we go through life, we need to cultivate ourselves in more wisdom, and then we need to uplift and enhance our personality throughout life, in all your past lives. So it is a very good, let's say, approach to find tools constantly that can upbring our inner self, our inner knowledge, so we can be in contact within ourselves and towards nature, because nature, as mentioned before, is a very pervading force that sometimes we need to understand more in order to understand ourselves and in order to interact with life accordingly in harmony. In harmony,
yes. And for example, if we accept, let's say, this responsibility of having our spiritual life, let's say, awaken, that is going to be the first step. So first we have to make the first step, which is, okay, I want to work with my inner energy, let's say, with my inner self. Why? Because now I understand that I have, or that I am something else, something more than this body. Okay, so accepting would be the first step, and that is going to be held, yes, by our free will. So free will is very important. When we say, okay, I want to work with that, I'm going to try that. You can do that. For example, you can write down why you want to have your spirituality awaken. Okay, because I want to feel more secure. I want to feel better. I want to feel protected. I want to have or feel the courage that I need to go against all the lessons or all the, let's say, obstacles that I have to face every day in my life. And I want to have this backup, let's say, no, of this all this energy that is going to help my energy. So also because I want to feel more love or more happiness, or I want to really feel peace in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. So that is why I need to work with what I cannot see with my physical eyes. I need to work with what I have inside myself. So that would be the first step, to accept and to continue to look for awakening the responsibility of the spirituality that we can just take like that, no? If we decide to do that.
We all have gone through sometimes that, oh, what am I doing?
Yes.
What kind of ego I have, why am I doing this? Why I'm doing this to my children, to my family? What kind of attitude I'm having to my work, to my workmates? So in these little reflections, these little sparks of wisdom, these little light messages that we receive in our everyday life, we notice that we need to make attunement, fine-tuning of ourselves in order to be better persons tomorrow. Whatever you're doing right now, another tool that you can provide in your everyday life is to be analytic of what you are doing. Be conscious, aware, and awake of all your acts, your words, your actions, in order to be in the balance of correctness, not wrongness. Try to be in the middle, and then balancing yourself constantly by observing yourself. What are you doing at this present moment? Tomorrow doesn't matter. The past is gone. What are you doing right now in order to be responsible for yourself, for your congenerates, for all your surroundings, and for nature? In this way, you can be more sensible, more sharpened, more concentrated in all the aspects of your life. And this is beautiful because you are working with yourself. You are not just being a random being, a coincidence of life, let's say. You are doing your job, which is to evolve to a higher self. This is very beautiful.
Yes, and it's better to be like that than to have the spirituality being asleep. No? If that spirituality is asleep, then we are going to be missing this energy. To continue with life. Yes. So if we connect, if we accept our responsibility and we say, okay, I am here on this planet, I have my inner self, let's say, I need to work for that. As I take care of my physical self, when I take care of my diet, or I take care of the body because I do exercises. Okay, very good. In the same way, I have to take care of my inner self. So that is why it is so important to have that spirituality awakened. So we really urge you to do that, to think about that, and to, let's say, we can, yes, take the opportunity, let's say, to do that, to awaken the spirituality and say, okay, I'm going to do it. Why? Because I want to feel better. I want to know myself. When we awaken our spirituality, we also get to know our own selves. And it's beautiful because then we know what we want to do. We know what we like. We know what we are looking for. We know what goals we have in our life, and we look to accomplish them. So that is why when we awaken our spirituality, we make that life, or our own life, to be complete, to be successful. And that is going to be very good, of course, because of course we all want to be, as Tom said, we want to work with the different virtues. And if we work with those virtues, that is light, and also that is spirituality. So again, everything is like like bonded, no? We are here, but we have a lot of tools, as you can see, and maybe are the same tools that we always talk about, but here we are giving a specific intention of awakening the spirituality and accepting that responsibility.
By responsibility, the word itself, sometimes the system or the social pressure just provides us that we need to be responsible for ourselves in a material way. That means having a financial situation solved, a job, a car, a home, the dog, the garden, the family, the perfectness in all of these aspects. But it goes more deeper than that, because many people have all these. They have solved all this responsibility in material ways. But how about psychological responsibility or emotional responsibility? And these both together make you spiritual responsible for whatever you are doing in your life. It means that you need to be ready for any situation that the situation can sometimes provide to you as an emergency or as a quick response. And then sometimes we are not emotionally educated to respond or to answer to situations that arise in front of us. So we need to nurture within ourselves constant cultivation of our personality, of our character, and then we refer to the virtues of the archangels as a company that we need to get inspired from. We need, for example, have courage and boldness from Archangel Michael in order to confront whatever comes in front of us, in order to solve it quickly and responsible and sharp. We need the inspiration of Archangel Gabriel in order to have clarity of mind, and this is one of his main virtues. I concentrate myself in the clarity and pureness of the goodwill, for example. Another example, I need to make changes in my body because I am feeling that I am not good. I am having obesity. I am feeling my body is not me anymore. So I need to review my nutritional habits in order to be responsible of what I have to eat every day in order to change my possible condition.
Yes.
Or if I have a preconditioned situation, what do I need to change in my life right at this very moment in order to start healing this process of precondition? Be aware of these things, because sometimes we do not pay attention to our bodies, which is the temple. It is the basis and the pillar of any spirituality or any wellness of life.
Yes, and when we are, for example, taking care of these virtues, then we are going to start creation, be part of this creative process in our own lives, of course. No? So we can start looking then at what we really want to do, what we really want to get to do in our lives. That is why when we have this responsibility of this spirituality, then we learn a lot about our own selves. We know what we really want to do and what we really need to do. So we have to look for the accomplishment of all these qualities or specific situations or specific tastes that we have. We really need to understand ourselves in order for us to create what we want in our world. So creation is very important, and we should try to be very conscious of that. Remember that our mind is very powerful. We have a lot of power there. So when we start creating, when we start to envision all these situations that we want to fulfill or we want to accomplish, then we are creating, and we are starting to be part of this process of creation. Life is a creation. Life is creation, and life comes from a creator. let's say. So we are part of the process. So let's get into that path and start also creating what we really need in our lives. But that is why we need to have this connection. So that is why we need to have spirituality.
Previous days ago, I began to read a book, very interesting book from Swami Vivekananda, and it's called Raja Yoga. Raja means the yoga of kings, the king yoga. And I was reading quickly what was the core of the book, and I finally understood many things. In this king yoga, in order to have an harmonious and a very equilibrated life, we need to concentrate. This is the core of the book. We need to concentrate in the higher consciousness that we have already within ourselves. And in order to be awakened or lucid vividly at the present moment, we need to concentrate in the very present moment. We need to be wide open eyes. We need to have our mind wide open in order to look all around of us what is happening. And then the mind becomes concentrated in the wellness of the moment. At every moment, we need to be awake to see what is happening all around of us at all times. Even at the moment of going to sleep, we need to have consciousness and ask for the higher consciousness to have a good sleep in order to have a relaxation and a very distressed end of day, so we can awake at the next day to do the same thing again and again. Concentration in what I say, concentration in what I do, concentration in my actions. The constant exercise of being concentrated in what you are doing in the present moment will give you an altered state of consciousness. And this awakeness state is what brings you to the connection within the creative force that surrounds all of us. It is very beautiful because when you begin to practice and taking care of everything that you do, even what you eat, how I breathe, how I do my work, how I drive, how I take my children to school, how I care of them, the pet, all actions, all activities that you do concentrated will give you an altered state of mind. And this altered state of mind is what makes ourselves uplifted in having a good vibration of thought. Thought is projectional, and then whatever we think, we project, and we project to the environment. And this environment captates or registers our emotions, our feelings. If we are concentrated in the goodwill at all times, we will have the same answer from the environment. The counterpart, if we are concentrated in the wrongdoing of others, of myself, of my children, of my husband, my wife, then everything will get permeated in a distortional way and will go toward you. This is an aspect that is undeniable, and as I mentioned before, whether you believe or not, try it.
Yes, and all this knowledge that Tom is talking about, all this understanding, let's say, also that is also a state of a high vibration, and that high vibration is going to help to open, let's say, all these other fields in the energy around us. And that is going to be very helpful to us, because then we are going to be able to see that we have this capacity of awaken, let's say, all the energies that are dormant. No? Why? Because we have all this energy that is activated inside ourselves. So then we will use this in order to awaken the rest of energies that are all around us. Of course, this is something very subtle. I mean, it's not something that we can see, but we can trust in that. We can see the effects really and see if, okay, I have been like this, I am creating, I am doing this, I am doing that for myself, and I can see what are the results. We can write them down and see how really the energy or the connection with these higher energies are going to help us to see that our life is going to be changing or different.
Yes. Let's remember also that in previous programs we spoke about the qualities of the energy. Nowadays also we have, for example, the ancient scriptures of the Vedas, and then there is a chapter which is the Ayurveda. Maybe you are acquainted with that. Ayurveda is the knowledge of the healing path in the Vedas, in the ancient Indian philosophy. And in the Ayurveda, it speaks about three kinds of energies, which is the lowest energy is Rajasic, the Rajas energy. And then the middle energy is the Tamasic energy. And finally, the highest energy is Sattvic energy. These three kind of energies, without the talk of the technicities of the yoga, it's very, very simple. We have two kinds of energy: the lowest, a middle, or so-so energy, and a high energy. The lowest energy is the inertia. We feel apathic, we feel lazy, we don't want to do anything. Everything is like, it's heavy for us. And this is the lowest energy. This is called inertia. In the middle, we are going through high and low, high and low. Sometimes we want to do things, sometimes we don't. And then this is the way we go through life. Yeah, let's do it. Whatever. And then in the higher energy, you say, yeah, let's do it. Why not? I am very willing, excited. Let's go for it. Let's try it. And then this is the way you cope with life every day. Three kinds of energy. So remember that. And then be aware of how is your energy when you wake up in the morning. Are you with energy, full of energy? Forceful, going to make some exercise, or you just say, oh boy, what am I going to do today? No, this is the attitude. So be aware of that, and then make the proper changes, believing in yourself and pushing it to become higher in a concentrated point of wellness.
Yes, that's so beautiful, Tom. And well, if we awaken our spirituality, if we start connecting, if we start looking at our inner will, what is it that we really want to do in our lives, etc., then we're going to be able, also with this energy, of course, because we have this eagerness of awakening our spirituality and of living and of practicing the virtues and all that, then we imagine we can, with our energy, we can help others to also be able to awake their own energies, let's say, no? So with our help, in a very subtle way, we will be able to help the rest of the family, the rest of the world, let's say, to also be able to awake their own spirituality. That is the kind of energy and that is the kind of quality that kind of energy has. So that is why if we do that, if we really awake our spirituality, then that is going to help a lot. Why? Because we're going to be channeling the love. We're going to be channeling a lot of virtues, creation, happiness, peacefulness. Why? Because we are working with what we really need to do. That is why it has the word of responsibility. It's not just like that, the spirituality. No, it's a responsibility. We have we are responsible of our life 100%.
Let's approach it in the way that responsibility is the acknowledgement of karma. Karma means every action I do has a consequence. And so we have the natural law. The natural law is a cosmic law that says, do not do to others what you don't want them to do to you. Mm-hmm. Just think about this, very simple, and try to go in your life doing good things all the time. Mm-hmm. Good thoughts, good actions, good deeds, good willing.
Yes, and we can, for example, ask our own hearts. We can go to, we can close our eyes and we can go very deep into our own heart, and we can look for answers, or we can ask for some kind of guidance. Mm-hmm. Why? Because here in the heart, we, let's say that it's the embodiment of the knowledge of all these connection that we can have with the creation. So if we go very deep into our heart, we can ask there, okay, is this correct? Am I doing this in the correct way, or is there another way in which I can work with? Maybe I am not paying attention to this and that. And here in the heart, we're going to find all the answers. But why? Because we already are working with our connection with life, with spirituality. Mm-hmm. So as you can see, the moment we decide, or the moment we take the chance to say, okay, I'm going to be responsible of this connection that I have with life, and that I'm going to work with my emotions, with my soul, with my mind, with my thoughts, then I'm going to be able to connect with all that, and then I am going to be a better human being, and I am going to be able to channel all this knowledge. Why? Because I have this connection here, you know, mm-hmm. this energy here, and I feel it.
Mm-hmm. And also remember, all together every day, we concentrate in our breath. We concentrate, therefore, in our thoughts, and then in the external emissions or a message that we send to the environment. Yes. Therefore, the good willing at all times must be based on truth. Whatever is true to us, whatever is true to the universal law of consciousness, that is, do not do to others whatever you don't want them to do to you. Exactly. Try to work with this, and this will bring you freedom.
Yes, and also have the responsibility of our own words, then of our thoughts, as Tom has mentioned, also of our emotions. Mm-hmm. Not only letting the responsibility to the religion, or to the saints, or to a little candle, or to ceremonies. I mean, not giving the responsibility to all that. We really have to take responsibility of our own job. Why? Because it's like a stair, no? As the song, a very famous song, no? A Stairway to Heaven. Yes, there is a stairway to heaven, but we have to climb it up.
Step by step,
yes,
every day.
Nobody's going to climb that stairway to heaven. We have to make the effort to go up. No, so that's why we have to take responsibility of every step that we make in this going up the stairway. So in that way, our job as human beings, or our work as human beings, is going to be giving a lot of fruit to ourselves and to the rest of the world.
That is correct.
Yes.
One step every day will make a difference for all of us.
Yes, we are finishing almost.
We are almost
yes,
finishing.
It's amazing the time flies.
Yes.
So thank you very much for joining us, and send us your messages if you want to. We have our cell phone, which is 5534723693. I hope I said it correctly. So then we can see again each other again. Well, you can see us, we cannot, but we feel you. We know you are there. So thank you again, and have a beautiful, beautiful week, and hope you can join us again next time.
Take care.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.